to furious driving, and you join me today at the wheel of a slightly unusual car. It has no doors. Well, it does have doors, they're just weird sliding doors. And that is the thing everyone talks about when they talk about this, the BMW Z1. But there's so much more to this car than that, because this is a real piece of futurism, of advanced design, of technology being researched on the fly, basically. So join me for a ride out in this, the BMW Z1, the future. By the way, this car is currently for sale at Percival Motors near Lenham in Kent. Check out the link in the description, and thank you to them for letting me take a ride out in this car today. Oh, and don't forget, if you like this review, please of course hit like and subscribe! Now on with the review. In the early 80s, BMW set up a whole new department called BMW Technik, which was BMW Technical. The idea being to explore new concepts, new technologies, new powertrains, just push the boundaries really, but be basically a skunk works where they could explore new ideas unfettered by the constraints of the bigger business. And the first thing they came up with was this, the Z series. And a lot of people think the Z series just stands for convertible or soft top roadster. It doesn't. It actually stands for Zukunft, which I probably said wrong as well, which means future. So these are the future cars. And to that end, this is a very interesting car. So it's a styling exercise in form of the aerodynamics. It's the bodywork, which is a steel monocoque, which is seam welded, zinc seam welded no less. And of course these incredible vertical sliding doors, which are quite remarkable. And because the car sits so very, very low, you can literally touch the ground while you're driving. I wouldn't recommend it if you like having skin on your fingers. Now you might recognise the sound of that engine that's purring away in the front. That's because it's lifted straight from the E33 series, the 325, along with a few other bits of the car. But don't let that fool you. This is not like other small fun BMWs where they've just basically taken an E30 platform and whacked other cute bits on it. This is all new and very interesting. But it is an incredible thing. So at the front, it is the E30 325 motor, as I mentioned. It's also got the McPherson strut E30 suspension, although it is pushed over at a little bit of an angle and makes the track a little bit wider as well. However, at the back, things get very interesting. You've probably heard of the BMW Z axle, which was their big thing for many years. It's a very clever multi-link suspension, and this is the first application of any BMW with either multi-link rear suspension of any form, or indeed the Z axle, which of course we saw in the E36, and closer to home in the Rover 75, which was BMW owned at the time of development. Under the skin, we've got for aero a flat floor, giving the car incredible aerodynamics. And there's a few other little tricks around. Let's pull over and take a little look around the inside and the outside of this thing. So looking at the design, you really can tell it is a product of the 1980s. It's all straight edges and very, very pointy bits, because that is, well, how cool fast things looked in the 1980s. The plan was signed off in 1985, and there was a prototype by 1986, and production started in 1989, only running for 2 years till 1991. The design, though, was by legendary Dutch designer Harm Legge, and I'm sure I've said that wrong. He worked for so many big names and did so many incredible cars. He worked at Simca in the 1970s, he moved over to Porsche, did the 924, and you can sort of see the similarities just there. Moved away from Porsche, then came back, he did the Boxster, the 996, he did the Carrera GT, and went on to become the head of Aston Martin design as well. So an amazing portfolio. Now the first thing anyone ever says when they talk about the Z1 is, of course, the vertical sliding doors. Now this is the only car you'll ever come across with vertical sliding doors, but there is one other with sliding doors. But they're horizontally sliding doors on the 1954 Kaiser Darrin, so it's been tried occasionally. I guess there's a reason no one else bothered with it, and there's a dog about to photobomb the shoot. Hello, dog. Yes, I'm aware. I'm in your space. Hello. Under the floor, it's flat for aero, and at the back, the shape of the rear bumper and the shape of the actual silencer on the exhaust itself forms a diffuser to reduce lift at the back of the car. And at the front, the shape of the front bumper and the general bodywork actually produces an area of high pressure in order to increase grip on the front wheels. And the panels aren't steel. It's got a steel monocoque underneath the skin, but the panels themselves, well, there's two. The bonnet and the boot are boring or GRP, but the side panels themselves, including the doors, are made of an experimental thing called Xenoid thermoplastic. It was only available with the 6 exterior colours and 4 interior colours, but there were 2 extras specifically for Bez and Legay. I don't know how you say his name. I must find that out. Now, the giveaway at the front that it is a 1980s car is they've gone for the most exciting modern thing they can find, the projector headlights, but we've still got the old-fashioned square oblong headlight inside there as well, and it's all hidden behind a flat piece of glass to keep the aerodynamics in shape. And of course, we've got the classic BMW kidney grille, just very tiny here at the bottom, and look how low off the ground the front number plate is. You want to be careful around car parks with this thing. Now, what exotica do you think we'll find under the bonnet? It is a 2.5 litre M20 from a 325 E30. So tried and tested, but what a noise this thing makes. Not huge power, but it was big for the 80s, but such an incredible sound this car makes. And you can see, to make things hit the low bonnet line, the angle of these strut tops is pointing off like that, and they're facing into the car and down and out as well. And the engine itself is canted off at 20 degrees too, to try and make the thing fit underneath that very low, thin bonnet. Now, getting in and out is actually something of an art form if you want to avoid damaging the door tops and this inner trim here, which is painted and leather. So you'd be super careful. And now I'm wishing I'd worn a pair of small trainers rather than clumpy boots today. Because this side sill is very tall, which gives amazing crash protection. It gives the door somewhere to hide into, but not the easiest thing to get into when the steering wheel is in the way. Now, the cabin is actually quite tight. It's not a very big car at all, so it's not a huge amount of space, but it is done rather luxuriously because we've got lots of leather lining absolutely everywhere, top of the range kind of deal. So leather clad T-shelf, leather clad padded area here, a lovely leather T-shelf down there as well, and a minor T-shelf down here, so you can put some small items of snackery for your autobahn journeys just there. Even this vented area up here by the windscreen is leather clad too, so everything is rather lovely. And looking up above, this rather heavy cant rail on the surround of the windscreen is also leather clad. But you're thinking, why is this so thick and heavy? This is actually a rollover bar. They were thinking extra protection and ways they can make a convertible safer. And one of the things they did was this very sharply raised windscreen, which is actually a rollover hoop built in. Now, moving down, we have got a certain amount of BMW parts bin, but then that is to be expected. We've got our little instrument dial cluster under here, with the top speed registering at 140 and the red line 6,500 RPM. We've got fuel and temperature, and that's basically it. A curious and rather fun pull switch for the side lights, headlights. The same air vents you'll find in an E30, and these curious metal rod type stalks for the indicators and the wipers behind the wheel. In the centre, more E30 componentry, our lovely, very 90s Alpine CD player, love that. And a big button for the fog light. Beautifully simple, basic BMW air vent controls. And underneath that, in this little kind of gully here, perfect for putting a small big biro, you'll find the weirdly located wing mirror adjuster. There's an up-down switch for left and right, and a tiny little pyramid for nudging your mirrors up and down. A weird place for that. But then the mirrors themselves are in kind of an odd location just there up here, because there's no door to put them onto and the wing vanishes over there. Here on the A-post is kind of the only place we've got left to put them. That is ahead of a small ashtray and lighter socket, which I have a feeling comes out of the 3 Series as well. We've got the same window switches and hazard lights as we find in an E30 in the same place as well, and this one has got this rather lovely Alpina wooden gear shift, which feels very lovely indeed. More leather as you go back, leather clad centre section, leather handbrake, leather gaiter, even a second ashtray in the back for the no people in the back area. Now you might be wondering, with doors that vanish into the side of the car, where do you put your door handle? And the answer is just down here. and it is literally a part spin E30 door handle. You pull that and that triggers the mechanism, and the door shoots up or shoots down depending on how you want to go it. And we've got those nice Alpine speakers hidden down in the footwell. The steering wheel is surprisingly close to me, but it's a nice hard leather thing, and the horns are actually hidden here in the spoke. Wow, that's a clearly experimental futuristic PARP from the distant future of 1995, probably. Now the seats are incredible though. There's amazing wraparound bucket things that look like they've come straight from the set of Beetlejuice. They've even got this weird camouflage pattern hidden into the leather of the seat, and the rear of them are this Formula One style plastic bucket to enclose them, so all lightweight and clever. Now the windows do obviously operate separately from the doors when their doors are up. When the doors are down though, obviously they don't operate. Now these were built on a very limited run, only running for 2 years as I said, and only built 8,000 units, and about 75 or 6 of them were actually retained for research and development purposes, so not many on the market. They were all built in Munich, and all of them, as this one is today, are left-hand drive. So obviously it wasn't a huge seller here in Great Britain, being right-hand drive. That's a big putter-offer for a lot of people, but really, with a car as small as this, it's not that much of an issue. You get used to it very quickly indeed. To be honest, you're focusing more on that amazing noise most of the time. And BMW Technique was led by Dr. Ulrich Bez of the Happy Mondays, so he's had quite an interesting career. Now on the road, that combination of McPherson struts up front, Z-axle at the back, and a very, very stiff and light body means this thing absolutely flows and flies. All the cars came with a Getrag or Getrag 5-speed manual gearbox, which is a beautifully mechanical feeling shifter. And there really are minimal electronics on this car. It's 1990, don't forget. They ran it for 2.5 years in that period when cars were starting to get a little bit of electronics to make them feel a bit more reliable, so electronic ignition and that kind of stuff. But you didn't have all the nannying, interfering stuff too much. ABS was still an option for most cars at this point. Traction control was the stuff of exotics. So the gear change is a lovely mechanical feeling thing. The steering is so precise and not heavy at all. And you can feel pretty much everything going on underneath the front of the car. And it has that wonderful 90s feel where the car is taut and tight and you know it's going to be well controlled through a bend, but at the same time you're not crashing and bashing through every bump, so it's fairly stiff, but in a 90s way, not in a modern way. It gives you lots of confidence that if you want to fly through a corner, it will grip perfectly. Being rear-wheel drive, of course, you do have that lovely rear-wheel drive control. It makes 168 horsepower and 222 Newton meters of torque. Ahead of going on sale, the forecast for sales numbers was immense, and BMW could only make between 10 and 20 a day, and they were going to struggle to keep up. It would appear a lot of those people who put the early deposits down were just speculators and investors, and they didn't follow through. And once those early 3,000 or so sales have been fulfilled, it really slowed down to a trickle. Now, of course, there were later Z cars. The Z3 and the Z4 were nowhere near as, well, futuristic technological tour de forces as this one. Then there was the Z8 though, which was the ultimate Z car, and is now, well, fetches kind of supercar money, if you can find one. What happened to the Z2, the Z5, the Z6 and 7? Who knows? There were only 4 Zs so far. That super low nose is making me very nervous about any incline or dip or anything like that at all. I keep thinking, oh, I'm going to take the front number plate off. Oh, that noise. The BMW straight six noise from this era of engine is just something else. And when you've got the roof down, the doors down, you're fully exposed to the elements and all the sounds around you. Oh, that's so cool. That's a deep bass, but a beautiful strumming orchestra. Drive a convertible, you're very much open to the elements. Drive a convertible with the sides down, it's like a beach buggy. You're on a skateboard almost. You know, I've sat in one of these before, but I've never driven one. Didn't know what to expect. But I really have rather enjoyed this. It's everything a BMW should be. From the days of the Ultimate Driving Machine, this is the ultimate of the ultimate. When BMW can really just throw everything at it and not really care if anyone likes it or not. Just make something so bonkers because they want to and do all the BMW things to the ultimate level. Fantastic. Well, thank you for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed this ride out in this wonderful piece of future technology from the past. For me, it's been an incredible sort of semi-bucket list kind of a car. I've sat in one of these before, I've never driven one. I knew it was going to be good and I wasn't disappointed. If you think this car might be one for you, then check out Percival Motors in the link down below and join us again next time driving something completely different.